going down, everybody? This is BroncoJuggalo.
And Bill.
And today we are discussing Never Hike Alone 2 from 2023, directed by Vincent DiSanti. This movie just came out, I think, less than a week ago. Here, maybe I might be wrong on that, but that's when I noticed it. On YouTube, it is up for still with the Indigo campaigns of the second round of Indigo campaigns to get some of the items.
Yep.
So if you want to, they just put it back up. I actually almost made a mistake. I was about to go and order myself a copy. Well, I was looking on the credits after the movie and I saw my name as a backer. I was like,
yeah.
Wait, I meant to back the film. I just thought I forgot. So I've forgotten that I backed the film, and I actually have a copy or will be on the way when they put them out, or whatever.
Yep.
And then I looked down right below that, and it turns out I actually ordered another copy of it a year prior to that when it first got announced. And I didn't even realize. But luckily, the two copies I ordered are two different copies. So one is the alternate cover, one is the regular. Whatever. They got $170 something off of me for this one. You're welcome, Vincent.
It's all right. It's all right. At least you didn't order again.
Yeah. Well, that first one I ordered was the it was the like one of the packs where you get a bunch of different shit,
Yeah.
And I didn't, I guess I had forgotten all about that completely, and then I forgot that I did it again in April of this year. Like a year later, I ordered it again.
Well, it's been a while. We can forgive you.
Whatever. I'm happy to be a backer because this movie ruled. I liked it a lot. Good. Really good follow-up to Never Hike Alone and Never Hike in the Snow. It follows up both films.
Yes.
And, it brings back Tom Matthews as
Tommy Jarvis.
And it's weird. His name's Tom. You'd think I would remember that. They brought back Tom Matthews as Tommy Jarvis. They also bring back, this guy, I can never pronounce his name, Vincent Gustafaro as Sheriff Rick Colon, who is the sheriff's deputy in Part 6. He's the guy with the laser gun, which, by the way, the laser sights make a return.
Yeah.
Now, guys, there's not a ton in this movie that I can give, like, production, tidbits or cool facts, because there's not a lot of it about it posted really online about this production of this one yet. But I do know what I learned from talking to Vincent and talking to, other people. I mean, I did an interview with the guy and he talked for like 4 hours, he and I, which was awesome. Or however long it was, but it was definitely my longest interview. But and he's a really awesome, cool dude, and he plays a great Jason. Anyways, though, he was talking about the place they found, up in Washington for filming, and it's based in New Jersey, but it's filmed up there, and it looks terrific. Looks great. So I do, however, have a horror movie slasher tip.
Do tell.
Never say in the movie that the killer does not exist.
Yeah.
Every time they've done that in any horror film that I've ever watched, within like a minute, the killer shows up. Never say that the killer doesn't exist. Put that in your next Scream movie. So, guys, we're going to talk about pros and cons. I really did enjoy this film. I really did.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it's quite as good as the first Never Hike Alone, in my opinion. But that could just be because I put that Never Hike Alone 1 at a very high place. It was different because we had only one character throughout most of the film.
Yes.
Which is something we've never gotten before. And also, it's been a long time since 2009 when we got our last Friday the 13th official film.
Yeah.
And they come out and they do the best job of any fan film I've seen. And I've seen a lot of these fan films. Now, the one we watched a few weeks ago, Vengeance, that one was pretty decent.
That
was pretty good.
Film. I liked it.
Really good. Different take on the story, which is cool. It's always cool to check these things out.
Oh, yeah.
But Never Hike Alone still has my heart as far as the fan films. Now, this one is a solid fucking follow-up to it. It is really good.
Yes.
Things are on point. We're going to go over that here in a minute. But I still think that I like the first one a little bit better. Just saying.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give that to you.
I have no cons. What about you?
I've got no cons for this film either. None. Let's get into pros. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
What's good about this film?
Well, you know what? Let me just interject. Not a con, just an observation.
Okay.
In horror movies, we are told to suspend our disbelief all the time.
Yes.
There is one plot point in this movie that I'm not going to mention because we're going to keep this spoiler-free as possible.
Yes.
There is one plot point where our protagonists are dealing with Jason. And they figure something out and they act on it. And I know that's really vague, but whatever.
Yeah.
This plot point is kind of a jump, I think, in my opinion. They didn't really back that up with anything in the other films that I remember. And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think they did.
No, I don't believe so. No.
You know, there's no mention of it anywhere in the original franchise either. So, just saying, maybe it's a little jump. And if you know me and you got my thing, a messenger, and you want to know what it is, I'll tell you. But I'm not going to put it on the video. You know, whatever.
Yeah, I know what it is.
You know what it is, because we talked about it. But,
we talked about it.
But it's not a con. I can suspend that disbelief because the movie was good. I was having fun. And it's like, okay, this is a horror film. Sometimes we just have to do that, you know?
Exactly.
It's cool,
exactly.
you know?
But Friday the 13th is my favorite horror franchise, and I don't really remember this even being a thing either, what he's talking about.
That particular thing was not. That particular item.
But we're not going to get into that.
I'm not going to say what it is. Sorry, guys. You want to know? Hit me up.
Or just watch the movie.
Well, yeah, you might be able to figure it out. I mean, if you're, paying attention. Anyways, on to pros. I would like to start here. Just like with Never Hike Alone 1 and Never Hike in the Snow, production value. This is a low-budget film. Now, low budget by Hollywood standards. Not low budget like some of the other films I review that are like $500 micro-budget films.
Yeah.
Which I give love to those, too. You know how much I love those sometimes. This one had, I think, 150, 200, maybe it was more. Maybe between 150 and 300. I don't know exactly what the thing was. I'd have to go back and look at the campaign. Maybe I'll find it and put it, here on the screen. But, it is considered a lower budget film.
It is.
But it looks terrific.
Amazing.
Great drone shots, great cinematography, great color palette. I don't want to get into my next pro so much. Well, yeah, you know what? I'm going to roll, if you don't mind.
Just go.
All right, so this movie, and this isn't really a spoiler because, of course, it interacts with the first movie. It's part 2. But it really interacts with this movie. It really interacts with it. I'm not going to say how, but it really does, and it's really cool how they do it. There is certain scenes that they show from the first film where they show it again in this film. There's more detail, I want to say.
Okay.
But you don't see the detail in the first movie. Maybe because it wasn't actually there when they filmed it. Now that's the the filmmaking definition, the logical definition.
Yeah.
But when they shot this second one, they thought about it and were like, okay, we don't want to show this. We want to make it look just like this. So what they did is they put the shadow in the exact same place it was before, and the shadow, and maybe they thought about that when they did the first one. I don't know. But maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But they did it right the first time. They paid attention to their own details.
Yes.
And they didn't leave these things glaringly obvious where it's like, wait a minute, that wasn't like that. You could tell this is a reshoot. They did a really good job there. I really think the production values and also the way it intersects with the first movie, I really enjoyed that as well.
That was a pro of mine, too, of how this film does tie in with the first one and just continues the story. I love that when you can pull it off well without doing a ton of rehashing.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows how much I hate it when a film is like, wait a minute, we got 20 minutes of this film that's a rehash of the film before. You're not getting that here, though. You're not getting that much
No, it
time
literally adds to the story.
It does.
And they do it. It's not like they do it well. Let's just put it that way. They do it well.
They do
this
it very well.
This is not Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
No, thank God. Okay, my first pro for this film is that they got these actors to come back. The ones from Part 6.
Part 6, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love the fact that they got them back. Even they are older, and it fits so well with the story of the film that they are older. You know,
and they got the actors from Never Hike Alone 1.
Yes,
that's one of my pros, and this is not a spoiler because they show his name on the
they talked about
when they were talking about the movie, and he's on the trailer. Kyle's back.
Yep.
I fucking love that. Kyle's back, you know? That's awesome.
My next pro for this movie, I love the beginning of this film. I love the dream sequence at the beginning of this film. I love Tommy's room when he wakes up at the beginning of this film. Mm-hmm. It just has a lot, especially Tommy's room. Come on. Here's a little spoiler, but come on. Watch out in Tommy's room.
Let's just say there's an Easter egg, because I was going to allude to that.
Yeah.
You know, in Part 6, they kind of ignored Part 5. They ignored what happened kind of in Part 5 for the most part. And then also, in these other in every movie since, they really haven't mentioned Part 5. In this, there is an Easter egg to Part 5 in Tommy's room. It's dope. I'm not going to say what it is. I was going to say what it was, but then I changed my mind midway through you talking. I was like,
no, don't say.
So, but there's a dope Easter egg
look for
Part
it.
5. And there's a few others throughout the film for other parts of the franchise.
Of course.
Check it out, you know?
Yes.
Guys, the pacing of this movie is on point. Just like in Never Hike Alone 1, this movie moves.
Keeps going.
We don't have dull times. We don't have boring times. Even when there's not killing going on, the story is moving.
It progresses at a fine pace.
Love that.
All right, my next pro for this film. Oh my God, the practical effects and the kills. You got to put those two together, unfortunately.
That is my final pro as well.
Oh.
So, do we want to give a favorite kill?
Oh, how do I choose? I didn't even think about that.
I do, and I have one, so.
Oh, Lord. Okay, I got it.
Yep.
The fat nurse.
Same.
Fat nurse.
Sorry, the nurse.
Oh.
Yeah, same.
Oh, why did you run that way?
The kills are a big pro for me too, man.
And the practical effects. Oh,
yeah.
God.
Look great.
Yes. Fucking amazing.
And I don't expect anything less from Vince and this team. I really don't. You know, they did a good job in the first one. They do an even better job with the effects in this one because we get more. The big effect shot in the first movie, I mean, there were some smaller ones, but the big effect shot was when, in the dream, Kyle's getting his head crushed.
Yes.
That was the big effect shot in that one, and that was dope. They top it in this movie, and that's
they do.
You know, I'm sorry, I know I'm bringing up Scream again, but I was watching Scream 5 and 6 the other night. You always have to top, when you're in a franchise, as she said in Part 5, we're in a franchise. Or was it Part 6? We're in a franchise. We always have to top what... It was Part 6. What came before? It's got to be bigger. It's got to be more blood. It's got
to be more epic.
Duh. So...
Yeah, that's true.
Did you have any other pros? That was it for me. I had a blast with the movie.
Okay, I do have one more pro for this film. And it brings you back to the first film of being shot on camera. They have some parts of this movie where it's police body cams.
Yeah.
Oh, and it was done so well with the police body cams. It's like, this fucking makes sense to do this.
Kind of like the way they did with the camper cam in the first, his trail cam. You know?
Yeah, but in this day and age, all of them have those cams. And whenever they do anything, whenever they do fucking anything, they have to turn it on.
Yeah, supposedly. See if they do or not. But anyway, I agree with you there. It was really cool. I'm not a fan of found footage. You know that.
I'm not either.
But they did it short, and they did it to the point, and they did it right. Just like they did in the first one.
Yes, I'm not a fan of found footage either, unless it's done correctly. Because if somebody's doing it with an actual camera or a phone, why the fuck aren't you putting it the fuck down running? Why are you still like... That's unrealistic. But if it's actually a cam attached to your head or somewhere on your body, that's realistic.
Guys, I had a blast with this movie. I definitely
Great
suggest
film.
you checking it out on YouTube. It is free. That's the great thing about these.
Hell yeah.
And if you do want a copy, because like my boy Jason always says, physical media matters.
Yes, it does.
And it does. Get this on physical. I mean, you may think you're paying a lot for it, but you're getting something badass.
Yes.
And the red version was limited to 1,000 copies.
1,000.
Or at least that's what this new campaign says. And it looks fucking dope. You know, it's really dope. Get it, guys.
Go out there and get it.
Or go on your computer and get it.
Well, yeah, that's how they have to.
Yeah.
It's not going to be in a fucking store.
Well, secondhand store maybe.
No, it won't be.
All right, guys. This is BroncoJuggalo saying thank you for joining us. Oh, I found my Friday the 13th posters from Scream Factory.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Oh, good.
Peace out.
Bill saying good night.